What is up? What is up? Welcome back to Caneswear TV. I am your host, Gio Milian. I am not with Brett today. Brett will be back on with me tomorrow evening. Yes, we got another show coming tomorrow. As we promised, the content is kicking up as we get closer to the season. If you're wondering about the lenses that I got going on and everything, made a nice little purchase that I'm using for some of the media stuff that we're doing this year. So some interesting content that'll be coming your way very soon via shorts and some of the lives here and whatnot. But guys, look, 2 days are in the books for training camp for the Miami Hurricanes this year. And the other thing that I will mention tomorrow, no media viewing for the media at practice. Tomorrow is an open day. Friday, practice back on again for the media to watch. Same thing again this weekend for Saturday. So we still got a few more. We still got a few more practices rolling in for this week. We got some special content that's coming towards the end of the week as well. I'm sure everyone's seeing everything that we've been releasing. But look, guys, everything is in full gear now. This is like Christmas if you're a Hurricane fan, whichever holiday you celebrate in the winter time. But it's absolutely exciting, the energy that's around this program right now. And let's jump right into it, man. I'm sure everyone saw the title of this video for this live today. OJ Frederique is not playing around this year. We're talking about multiple picks through the first couple days and competing out there, locking guys up, playing physical. His physique-wise as well, guys, he's up to almost 200 pounds now. You confirmed that with me on Monday at Media Day. He's playing lights out to open up camp. And yes, I've seen that he's projected as high as the number 3 cornerback in the upcoming NFL draft. But if he continues on the trajectory he's on at this current moment, top 2 cornerback in the entire country this year. Like he could absolutely go first round if he continues to play the way he has been playing to open up camp. So it's super encouraging and exciting to see what he's doing early on in camp. And look, for the rest of the team as well, I mentioned in some of the details here before opening up this live this evening, the offensive line, there's a lot of shuffling going on. It's not exactly the same lineups every single time they go out there as it was in spring. Things have definitely shifted around. You know, they're trying things out. Jackson Cantwell's kicking out to the right side. Sampson's playing some left tackle. Matt McCoy's playing some guard again. Look, I even noticed this during practice as well. Like even Max Buchanan taking some reps as a center too. So I think for the most part, Miami's just trying to find out what's their best 5. They're mixing and matching right now. I've said before, I truthfully believe I got about 8 guys on that offensive line this year that could play legitimate snaps, that can help them in games. I do expect some guys they're going to rotate in. Some guys they'll get creative with. They'll line them up as an extra offensive lineman on the field at tight end. You know, they did that many years ago when Sampson was young, when Matt McCoy was young. They did some of that with SJ last year as a fullback. Look, I definitely expect them to get pretty creative because they got quite a few pieces on this offensive line. But the one guy I want to talk about specifically from the offensive line that's continued to flash, he's carried over the momentum he had from spring ball to now, that's Ben Congdon. Ben Congdon is playing really well. I don't know if he's going to start out the gate. Maybe he will at some point this year, but I think he's making a compelling case to get a lot of snaps this upcoming season. I said during the spring that he was tracking along much further than we initially expected, and that's holding true now, even into fall camp, fellas. And rest of the stuff I'll say, some other young guys that impressed too. Camden Portis, through the first couple days, Clinton Portis' son, I think he's a natural glove fit for the nickel position. He's really stood out in some of these one-on-one situations, which, mind you, are not favorable to defensive backs. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage in some of those one-on-one situations. You don't have the safety help over the top. You really got to be disciplined with your eyes in terms of the receiver's hips and which way they're going to go. But Camden Portis has been really impressive through the first couple days. He's had a couple picks himself. Chris Ewald's flashed a bit too. Damari Brown has had a nice start to camp as well. Anyone else who I do want to mention from that secondary that, look, it's again not an end all be all list. We get about a 45-minute or maybe a little more session to watch of practice. So we don't get to see the entire thing, but I'd say we get to see about 40 to 45% of practice. So pretty much that beginning portion. And JJ Dunnigan really stood out today in terms of the way he plays, physical, how he closes onto the ball as well. Just again carrying his performance from spring to now. Zachariah Poyser has had many good things to say about him. Other guys on his team as well in the defensive backfield. Even Coach Terry Jefferson had a lot of praise for a guy like JJ Dunnigan and how advanced he is at this stage as a true freshman. And JJ mentioned to me on media day on Monday that he attributes a lot of that to his father, who also played Division I college football, and just all the preparation and help that he had along the way with his father and the training that he did leading into arriving here at Miami. So, guys, just I'm super pumped. I'm excited about what I'm seeing out there. This team is huge. There are some big dudes on this team. And like when I say big dudes, I'm talking about even the JUCO lineman that just arrived now for fall camp, Jacob Hawks. Kid is massive, like all of 6'8", as reported. Ben Congdon, another big guy who's like 6'7", 6'8". Jackson Cantwell, Joel Irvin. All these guys are big bodies, or rather, I should say, large human beings, as Mario Cristobal likes to refer to that when it comes to all the trenches. And Armando Blunt, I will say this, I do expect him still to have a pretty big impact on this team this year. It's just the consistency that he's playing with now. Some of the stuff that I'm hearing coming out of the closed portions as well, just really impressive stuff from him. Damon Wilson is a handful for tackles to deal with. But other thing I want to mention too, the tight ends. Gavin Mueller, he flashed today. Izzy Briggs, he's flashed as well. Actually, Izzy Briggs almost knocked me out at practice. He was coming in my direction. I had to slide out of the way, but just he made a really physical catch on an out route. I think the ball came, it was either from nickel or Darian Mensah. But speaking about that, actually, let me jump to some of like what I saw from one-on-one, 7-on-7s, because it's hard to remember, like, at least visual picture in the mind every single rep. So this is why I take notes, guys. Give me a second here. Let me jump back to some of the notes I shared with the Discord earlier from this morning. Let's see here. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. So yeah, OJ opened up those competition series, like one-on-one, 7-on-7s with a pick. Dylan Day had a couple of plays as well today. Also, team is already simulating crowd noise through the speakers in the practice facility. So they are all systems go. They're preparing ahead of the season, as you would expect. Dalen Upshaw actually had a really nice catch on a jump ball about 20 yards downfield. The pass was from Mensah. Gavin Mueller picked up a pass on the flats from Judd. Isaiah Taylor, Jason Taylor's son, actually had a few plays himself. He gets reps between nickels and safeties. Chris Ewald, who I spoke about yesterday and a little bit at the beginning of this live, he actually made a couple flashes today, and he's working a lot with the safeties from what I noticed when I've been out there. But again, guys can be moved around. I know when Ewald first got here, he was working some at corner and everything. I think he's one of those guys that really talented young guy. I'm not sure how much Ewald's going to play this year, but I do think, excuse me, I do think he's going to be a very real player. Getting a little parched here, guys. Long days. Let me take a sip of water. Um, so yeah, what I was saying on Ewald, he was a guy that even had some impressive moments when he first got here. Not this spring, but last spring. He's a redshirt freshman right now. Who else? I'll bring up here. Mylan Paris had a jump ball for a first down earlier today. Mind you, this is not the sessions from outside. This is just what we get to see up front. Um, Darian Mensah. Look, I'll say this: you could definitely see um, that mentality for trying to push the ball downfield. There's a couple. There was one that he connected on with Cam Vaughn today, which I think Cam Vaughn excels in that too, just working downfield as like a vertical threat. But another one that stuck out. It didn't end up getting completed. It was just like really good coverage from Zachariah Poyser. But there was a deep ball. I would say it was towards the left side of the field. Yeah, actually, no, I wouldn't say left. About like the middle left hash, basically. Line drive, like just maybe a split second off, but like Joshua Moore had made a great attempt on the ball. Like would have been a diving catch if they connected on it, but just really impressive stuff there. Spoke about JJ Dunnigan, Camden Portis, like I said, just really impressive. Would have been a pick six, actually, what he had done earlier today if it was a live setting. Mentioned again, JJ Dunnigan. Special teams work was happening today. So some guys that were working in terms of the return guys, guys that could potentially factor in punt return, kick return. Malachi Tony is expected. Cooper Barcake. Hey, I'm going to say this. There were some people trying to say when Cooper Barcake first got here that they were like, oh, like, is he fast enough or whatever? Cooper Barcake can run. At his size, he can run. Like, I don't know who was saying it or what, like where those narratives came from, but Cooper Barcake can definitely run. Vance Spafford, Cortez Redding. Cortez Redding had a beautiful one-hand pick today, actually. It's kind of, it wasn't even one like where he was facing directly from the ball. It was kind of like he was in transition and caught it with his arm like that. Who else would say here? Dalen Upshaw is working with that group. Gerard Pringle, Vandrevius Jacobs, Samorian Wingo. Samorian Wingo of the young receivers, to me, he comes off as the most consistent. He's very smooth in and out of his breaks. He had a deep ball catch day one. He had a couple catches today too. I think he's going to factor somewhere in that rotation this year. I can't predict the amount of snaps or playing time, but he's definitely going to play this year. Mentioned Camden Portis, JJ Dunnigan, one-on-one work. Let's see here. Poyser had a good day. He actually had really good coverage on Malachi on one rep. I know, crazy to hear, because Malachi Tony gets tremendous separation, but just speaks to the levels of competition that's going on in Greentree and in the IPF right now. Omar Thornton, really nice pass breakup on one of the tight ends today. It was a deep ball from Mensah. Xavier Lucas had a good day of practice too. He was competing a lot with Cooper Barcake today. OJ Frederique, I can't say enough of. I mean, I opened the show with it saying that OJ Frederique's not playing around. Like you can clearly see the work that he's put in. I'm not even talking about the body stuff anymore. Let's get simply down to like taking advantage of your opportunities when those turnover chances are there. He's capitalizing on that. Like, and he is talking trash. He is vocal. I'm super excited what I've seen from OJ Frederique early on in camp. I hope it continues, because if it does, his stock is going to skyrocket. I wish you guys could see all this. These are like more things that the public can't see. We're able to watch in the media, but guys, OJ Frederique he's playing like the real deal right now. It seems like it's kind of all coming together. He's had plenty of great moments throughout his first 2 years at Miami, but it seems like now, like I mentioned a couple days back, I said, this is his money year. I talked about that with OJ, about it being such a crucial year, his junior year, potentially, well, not potentially, he will be draft eligible this year. And just kind of what's gone into his preparation and everything. This guy is laser focused right now. And look, I'll say this: I think this secondary has a chance to possibly be better than the group from last year. And I know this is crazy to say when you lose a guy like a Keontae Scott who meant so much to this team last year, or you lose a guy like Jacoby Thomas who was such a physical presence and really surprised people with some of the things he was able to do in terms of creating turnovers. Um, I think more than anything, the narrative I've pushed this offseason that's come from my own opinion that I felt like the cornerbacks needed to get better on finishing their turnover opportunities. I'm seeing that happen now, especially from OJ. So that's a huge deal. Um, let's see. Vance Spafford had two really good reps today. What really stands out with Vance Spafford, like maybe he's not like really big yet. Like you could tell that he still got like the frame that where he could still put on some more weight and muscle. But Vance Spafford, absolutely one of the fastest guys on the team. Gavin Mueller had a great double move on a pass from nickel today as well in those competitions too. Um, I just saw a comment here from Ralph. Hi, Gio. Thanks for the info. Good stuff. By the way, the four eyes looks good on you. Thank you, my man. It's smart glasses actually, so I could talk to it and can tell it to do a bunch of things. I'm just trying to continue getting more efficient. I got a million things going on all at once, so the more efficient I can get, the more stuff I can get out to you guys. I have very busy days. Um, Jabari Antoine, really good reps too. Honestly, guys, this Miami cornerback room, they're legit. This is the top 5 group in the country. Like when it comes to like comparing to the rest of the teams in the country, Damari Brown and having OJ and Xavier Lucas, Ethan O'Connor, Jabari Antoine, like I said, you throw in a young buck like Jalen Waters, who's had some moments too, a Camden Portis that really stands out as a nickel guy. And then I'm only talking about the corners, but you throw in the safety group too. Yeah. Miami's got a really good cornerback room, one of the best in the country. And this is not just hype. This is some of the proof in the pudding from last year and what's carrying over into this year. These guys have improved from last year. Let's see. I mentioned Jalen Waters. I mentioned the one-hand pick by Cortez Redding. Israel Briggs had a really big win over the middle on a pass over one of the younger safeties. He also had another big one, like I mentioned earlier, on an out route. Another guy I want to mention, because I don't want people to take this like when I'm talking about Gavin Mueller and Izzy Briggs, like that people will say like, oh, what about Elijah Lofton? Let me see. Hold up. Jason said, you live on YouTube too? Yeah, I am. Are we not live on YouTube? Let me double check. Hold on, guys. Just give me a second. I want to make sure nothing's wrong here. Wait a second. Why can't I see it from here? Just literally give me like 20 seconds, guys. I want to double check and verify this. Yeah, no, Jason, we are live on YouTube. You can check us out, youtube.com/Caneswear. And you just look that right up, it'll pop right up for you, my man. By the way, thank you everyone, as always, for the love and support. I see over 400 people here. First 20 minutes I'm on just talking about camp and everything. But let me continue on, finish up with some notes here. And I'm going to jump to a lot of your guys' questions. I see so many questions here. I see some recruiting questions. I'm going to get to all that, guys, I promise. Where was I at? Let's see. No, so I was talking about the young tight ends, and then I mentioned like the thing about Elijah Lofton, that I don't want people to jump to conclusions like oh, like what about Lofton? You're not talking about Lofton. Lofton has been solid and steady. He actually had a solid day of practice too, from speaking to 2 people that I spoke with, from what we couldn't watch. Only thing I'll say, it's like, I do want to remind people, some of us, like even in media, like I'm guilty of this at times. Like we get a little bit enamored by like some of the younger guys and like some flashes they show and everything. So we kind of highlight that more because it's newer guys to the team. It's things that we haven't seen a lot compared to other players we usually see. So just because one guy didn't have like some massive showing in the viewing portion doesn't mean they didn't have a good day of practice. I want to clarify that because sometimes there are fans out there. I'll see it on social media. They say, "Oh, well, you didn't talk about this guy. He must suck. He must not be doing it." No, it's not like that. But um, I do think Elijah Lofton is going to factor in with his offense this year. To what degree, we'll see how the tight ends get involved. But it is promising to see the two younger guys like Gavin Mueller and Izzy Briggs making the most of their opportunities early on. You want to see it when the pads come on, obviously. That's the biggest one. Pads are going to start coming on this weekend, from what I understand, from what I overheard. So, again, you want it to continue to translate in pads. We shall see. Like I've said before, shirts and shorts, it's nice to see all this stuff, but when the physicality turns on, when the bullets start flying, things start changing in practice at that point. That's where the boys are separated from the men. That's where the guys who are ready to play now are separated from the guys who may still need a little more time to bake in the oven. So we got to see. Again, even on the thing I said about like guys not like having the biggest performances in some of the viewing periods, like Malachi Tony like impressed today. Like he always does, but it wasn't like he had like a lot of catches today in the viewing portion. And I do know that he did well in the portion that we weren't able to watch. So look, guys, like the viewing portion is not the end all be all. It's just what we can share with you. Let's see here. I spoke about Gavin Mueller. Cooper Barkate won a really nice deep ball late in those one-on-one sessions. That ball actually came from Mensa. It was on one of the safeties. Ethan O'Connor had one pass breakup that we saw that was pretty impressive. Spafford won again on another deep ball against one of the younger safeties. Ball ended up being overthrown. Briggs, I mentioned the out route that he had. Cam Vaughn, really nice win on a deep pass, diving pass that came from Mensa to end the viewing period. But my final takeaways in my notes, I said OJ, once again, the star of the viewing period. Gavin Mueller and Izzy Briggs definitely stood out as like taking the most out of their opportunities. And Camden Portis and JJ Dunnigan, like from like those young DBs, those two specifically. Like, look, that nickel room has a lot of options. So we'll see where Camden fits in. But hey, even if he's not playing a lot this year, there may be a chance he could be Miami's starting nickel by next year. He's good. Camden Portis is good. It's not like you're saying he's good because his legacy. No, like this kid can play. He's ready. And even physically too. Like he definitely looks the part right now. So anything else I want to touch on before I jump to questions? I spoke a little bit about the quarterbacks. Actually, I'll say this. I spoke about like Luke Nickel a little more in depth yesterday after I was talking about Darian Mensah. Luke Nickel was pretty solid again today. I was actually a little more impressed in the viewing period about like what I saw from Judd. Like I've always said this about Judd. Like there's some days where he's just like kind of like wows you because of how much air he can get under the ball. But yeah, I mean, again, just the viewing period. Running back wise, Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lyle. I want to mention again. Look, if someone wants to call it propaganda out there, go ahead. But Jordan Lyle is going to absolutely help this team. I said it day one. I said it in the spring. As long as Jordan Lyle is healthy, Jordan Lyle is going to have an important role on this team this year. Spoke about the tight end. Spoke about the receivers. O-line I spoke about earlier as well. Just kind of the shuffling going on there. Everything I spoke about, that there could be a chance that Ben Congdon could start at some point this year. You got a great option with Max Buchanan as well. I think they got about 8 guys that could legitimately play on this line this year. Spoke about Armando Blunt, how he's impressing. Damon Wilson, just the trouble he gives some of the tackles in the practice settings. Who else we want to mention here? Oh, so I asked Ahmad Moten today because Mark Fletcher mentioned it on day one on Tuesday that he said, it's not exactly fun going up against guys like Ahmad Moten and Justin Scott day in and day out in practice. And Ahmad kind of shared the same sentiment. He's like, hey, it's not fun going against a guy like Mark Fletcher, but they really embrace that competition. You know what? And even before I continue on here, I'm going to take this one question. Juan Manuel asked, was Cole McConaughey at tight end practicing? Yes, Cole McConaughey is practicing at tight end. I actually didn't notice Cole McConaughey day one because he was wearing 89 in spring. Now he's wearing, I believe it's 86. Yeah, he's wearing 86. But yeah, no, he's practicing at tight end. He's with the tight end group. And I mentioned day one too. Jackson Carver's healthy now as well. He's practicing with the team. So definitely a lot of bodies and options that are there at tight end. I think that room will continue to take form as the pads start coming on. But mentioning the defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebacker, one guy in particular stood out to me from like the viewing portion that we watched, but that just like the way he was able to thump and the way he was moving, Chase Smith. Chase Smith is healthy. He's in the best shape of his career since he's been here at Miami. I'm not ready to proclaim that he's going to have some massive season, but he is tracking well right now. And I think it's encouraging to see where he's at this point. And it could all come together for him this year. And I spoke about the DBs earlier. Like I said, this is a really good defensive back room. Miami's got a hell of a receiver room. They have a hell of a defensive back room, and they have a hell of a running back room. And yes, some new faces for the O-line, but there's talent in that O-line room. I think we're going to sit through camp here and see where they find their best five. So before I jump to questions, a couple things I actually wanted to share to you yesterday, but I didn't get around to this. But good buddy of ours here with Caneswear TV, Canes Research. If you haven't seen this guy's stuff on X, I highly suggest you do. We have partnered with him. We're going to be sharing a lot more of his graphics and content on here, but some interesting stuff for you guys to keep in mind ahead of this 2026 season. So let me pull this up here. Let me see. We got it on the stage. Yes, we do. So let's jump here. All right. So you guys see this graphic? A few of them I'm going to point out today. I'm going to share another on tomorrow's show, but I think this one's important here. So Power 4 teams to play 3 straight non-Saturday games to begin the season since 1970. Only 3. Miami, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech. All ACC teams, actually, as a matter of fact. Take that as you will. So what Canes Research shared, the Canes don't play a Saturday game until week 4, as we all know. That is the Central Michigan game. They are only the 3rd Power 4 team to have that scheduling quirk since 1970. It has only happened to ACC teams. Take that for what it's worth. Now, this is another one that I know probably, I shouldn't say probably, I know because Mario Cristobal shared this before. He does not like the non-Saturday games because like just the way it is with the scheduling, and it's weird and it's ridiculous how many games Miami's playing that falls on like Thursday or Friday this year. It's outrageous, but it is what it is. The schedule is what it is. This is a great one. 297 non-Saturday regular season games all time. The most of any team in the D1 history, your Miami Hurricanes. 71 more than the next team. Will play 3 non-Saturday games in 2026. Mind you, it was 4 at one point until they changed the date of one of the games. I believe it was that Virginia Tech game they actually changed. Let's see here. I'm going to share one more before we jump to, I want to share a couple videos, then we'll jump to some questions. This is a good one for game 1. Longest travel distance for a season opener in Miami Hurricanes history. This will be their longest travel distance for game 1, going to Stanford. 2,585 miles. That's a pretty long distance. 1995 was the one prior, 2,342. Yeah, That's pretty far for game one. Mario has shared, even when ACC kickoff was going on, he said that, look, we learned some things from when we played Cal back during the Cam Ward season 2024 to get out there earlier. I know Mario's very meticulous about the approach when traveling to different places. For road games, he mentioned even like their approach to preparation when it came to the Fiesta Bowl game back in the playoffs this past season, that they did things a little differently. So they're going to follow more of that method, what they did there. So, yeah, I mean, who remembers that Cam Ward game? That was quite incredible. I know plenty of us were up until almost 2, 3 in the morning on the East Coast watching that game. But, yeah. And the other thing I want to jump over to here, give me a second. How do I remove this? Okay, there we go. Let's remove that one. Let's jump back to here. And I'm going to share a couple videos from practice. We got more videos coming from practice and media day, guys. Like I said, ton of content we haven't even released yet. There's just so much that we're looking through and wanting to share and seeing what's worth it. But let's stop that screen. Let's pull up another share screen. I'm going to share this to you guys directly from our shorts section on YouTube. Where is this at? Here we go. All right. Let's see. Is it up? Now it's up. All right. Here we go.
If you had to pick one teammate to bring with you during a zombie apocalypse, who would you pick and why?
That's a great question. Matt McCoy, because he's huge first, so he's my protector also. He's like my bodyguard.
Definitely Matt McCoy. He got just Matt McCoy. He's different. I'm gonna take Dalen.
Yeah.
I'll probably pick Dalen Upshaw because he ain't scared of none. So we going for it. I'm with Dalen.
I'm picking Dre Jacobs and Malachi Tony.
Why?
Dre Jacobs. Those like my dogs. Like I guess like
I would trust you guys to save the world.
yeah, we're gonna have to put our backs to each other. And he this way, I'm this way, I'm that way. Like that's just what it is.
Armando Blunt.
Okay.
I pick Armando Blunt because he's definitely killing all the zombies.
Armando Blunt.
Yeah?
What was that?
Armando Blunt.
Jackson Cat.
Wait, why?
Because, well, first of all, he's giant, so he'll fight them off for me. He might start eating them. I would, if it was me or him, he would start. Yeah, he would fight back for me. So I'm taking him.
Jackson Carver, because he has a collection of everything you can think of.
Jaguar Poison. It's like hear him talk about like he just want to make his city proud, like not just his family. You could tell like he's a big person on the world. So I probably pick him.
Man, just give me the whole DB core.
If you had to pay.
So I'm sure you guys all saw the nonstop Armando Blunt comments. Like they say from guys around the team and everything, Armando Blunt is very, very physical and violent player. So really excited to see what he's going to do this year. A couple clips from Darian Menton today. It's Malachi Tony there. Mensa to Barkate. Josh Moore. And Mally again.
Blake Buckets.
Swiping cards and stacking chips. I saw you sinking ships. Left me standing in the pouring rain. Now about a heavy diamond chain. My pocket's getting thicker. The watch is moving quicker. Money talk is much louder now.
Man, I can't say enough about.
Yeah, I mean it's.
All right, so I don't want to bore you guys with like video shorts and everything, but I'm sure some of you guys were enjoying it and whatnot. Let's remove that off the stage there. Stop screen and let's jump back into it. So guys, let's jump to some questions and comments. We got much more content coming from camp and everything, but just a few teasers there and everything. We got more stuff coming from Media Day. Interviews with Izzy Briggs and Cam Pruitt going to be up on the channel very soon as well. But time for some questions and comments. Feel free to ask anything. There's no such thing as a stupid question when you're on this show. Well, maybe sometimes there can be, but hey, you know what? Before we jump into these questions and comments, how about we watch this brand new clip that the Miami Hurricanes, Canes football, put out on X. Let's watch some highlights from day 2 before we jump into these comments. What do you guys think about that? Let's take a look here. Let me grab it. Just saw it pop up on the timeline. Canes football. Here we go. And let's get that full screen. All right. Let's get our share screen back up. All right. You guys can see it? There we go. All right, let's watch this new clip Canes football put out from today. Go Canes! Woo! Oh man, fun time of the year when football's back. Let's go right into questions and comments, guys. CW Apparel, Brett first. 30 days. Who's gears up? Hey, I'm geared up. I got my Brandon Bills hat. Been watching. Hold on a second. I got a text that came in. Oh, here we go. Brandon Bills hat. Got a whole bunch of new Canes gear past couple weeks and everything. Just super excited, guys. Juan Manuel, hey, you guys giving a warning? Yeah, no, just Juan. We've been very busy, my friend. Just a lot going on, but you'll have a warning for tomorrow's show. Well, your warning has come in the form of watching this show. I tell you guys if I will be on the next day. I've definitely kept my word in regard to that. So, let's jump to the next question and comment. Camaro Bug, good evening, Gio. Thank you. Philly Kane, what's up, Gio? Juan Manuel, Gio, how was your day? Busy man. Did you get your Arizona tea and scoops? No Arizona tea for me. Just a lot of water lately. Guys, I got to drop some weight. I got to get thin again, man. I used to be thin before my 2 younger sons were born in the past 2 years. So you're going to see fit Gio coming back sometime in the near future. So I've been dieting a little bit. Philly Kane said, what's up? Oh, okay. I hate football podcast. Hey, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Dean Elbows, when do they go into shells? That expectation for that should be by this weekend, from my understanding. Juan Manuel Gio, I'm hearing some very encouraging things. Do you think this secondary is better than Notre Dame? I was expecting Xavier Lucas to take a step. Is Lucas is cornerback Lucas' best position? I think Xavier Lucas could play some safety if he wanted to. I know he did some in high school too, but I don't expect them to move him there. He's playing pretty well at corner. He's improved coming into camp this year too. But as a whole, that secondary, yeah, it's on par with Notre Dame or could be better. I'm not trying to gas you guys up on that. I'm just being honest. Andy said, hi, boys. What's up, Andy? Hope you're doing well. Deep Water with the U. Money Counter. Thank you for always showing love. What's up, Gio? What's up, brother? Juan Manuel said, Max Buchanan at center took my feet, just like Cam Pruitt, 220, and Lightfoot, 240, Izzy Briggs, 230, 235. Yeah, just really encouraging stuff. But yeah, that is something I did notice from first day of camp. I saw him taking a couple reps there. He's doing guard as well and everything. But look, we'll see. There's a lot of shuffling going on. I think they're trying to find out what their best five is. It's not a situation that they don't have guys. No, they absolutely do have guys. They're just trying to find their best mixture. Let me take a sip of water here. Let's see. Lightfoot at 240 is crazy. He may very well lead us in sacks. Still remember him lighting up that running back in the Natty. Yeah. I think this could be a very big year for Marquise Lightfoot too. I was not expecting him to be up to 240 coming into camp. Like I knew he was like nearing that 230 range like back in spring, but guys, 240, that's a big deal for him, honestly. Juan Manuel said, Omar Thornton coverage seems to be a strength now. Yeah, I was telling you guys back in the spring, it's a very underrated aspect of Omar Thornton. His coverage abilities, he's still carried that into fall camp. He's been going up against some of the tight ends, some of the slot guys. And he's won more than his fair share of reps. I wonder how many will use the safety nickel room. I think you could possibly see like some movement back and forth. You know, like yeah, Bryce has played some safety too still. Like even though saying he was going to play some nickel, he's played some safety too since camp has opened up. You also said, is Camden Portis going to be as big as his father? He's still just 118. Clinton wasn't as small. Yeah, well, Camden Portis is like, I think physically, I think he's in really good shape as a true freshman. He could still continue to put on more muscle, but I think for a guy that got here back in spring, I like where he's tracking, and he's playing really well early on. Deepwater 13. I mentioned earlier too, I think he's a glove fit for the nickel position. I don't know if he'll start this year, but I do think he's starting for Miami at some point in the future in his career. Deepwater 1301. Gavin Mueller made a comment about Dawson having them watch a lot of Mike Leach in his air raid. Don't think we will go full air raid, but sounds like we will air it out more. I do expect Miami to air it out more. And also, I think what will go in tandem with that, lighter boxes for the running back. Spoke about that with Jordan Lau. He's really excited about what this offense could be. Juan Manuel Gio, who did you see fielding punts? So I mentioned that earlier. I'll say it again. Let's jump back to it. I had it here in my notes. I mentioned it day one too yesterday, but bring it up again. Hold on. Let's see. Where did it go? I had it here. Yeah, so Malachi, Barkate, Spafford, Redding, Upshaw, Pringle, Jacobs, and Wingo all took reps on special teams. Let's see here. And he also said, I wish I could field some Miami field trainers. Juan Manuel, hey, Mylan Paris Moss and people could come in handy with 6'4.5" Briggs and more. Yep, Miami's got some receiving options that have quite some size for the room. Juan Manuel, what makes Samari and Wingo good? I think what makes Samari and Wingo good is number one, game speed. And he even mentioned that too when I spoke to him, his game speed. Number two, he can make guys miss at his stature. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 200 pounds. Very solidly built right now for a true freshman. And I think his route running is ahead of where you would expect most true freshmen to be in that aspect. So I'm not saying he's going to come out and like do like what Malachi Tony did last year, just off the simple fact this is a very deep receiver room. But I do expect Samora and Wingo to play this year. And then you also said Miami may have 3, Vaughn, Moore, Jacobs to go over the top. Yep. Look, I know everyone brings up those guys, but Malachi Tony can go deep. I said this back in the spring because of Darian Mentz's strength. I've said it coming into fall camp that I think we could see a more efficient and more explosive Malachi Tony this year, simply off the fact of Darian Mentz's strength of being able to push the ball down the field. People think I've seen Florida State fans joking in comments of things I've posted of Malachi in recent days, and they're like, "Oh, screen merchant" and stuff like that. They're calling him a screen pass merchant, which I think is hilarious. Just stay tuned for this year. The reason why Malachi Tony is so dangerous when he gets screen passes. Not only just the suddenness that he has, the change of direction ability, how quick he can get to top speed, but more than anything, it's because he can threaten teams down the field that defensive coordinators have to respect that. They can't just crash right at the line of scrimmage with a nickel and expect that he's not going to get his release off the line and get downfield. Like there was some miscues on like some deep passes last year. I think some fans may be forgetting right now, but Malachi Tony is absolutely a deep threat. Like he can take the top off of the defense. So I think people are sleeping on that factor about him. Byron Ross said, is Mario crazy enough to think he's going to land 5-star DJ Jacobs, Kamon Spell, Mark Matthews? I don't think Miami lands all those guys, but they're going to try. They're still going to pursue Mark Matthews. They're still going to pursue DJ Jacobs. They're still going to pursue a Jackson Dollar. They're still going to pursue Myson Johnson Cook. They're still going to pursue a guy like Kamon Spell. Look, even on the thing that you mentioned about Kamon Spell, I mentioned this when I was on with D Money on Canes and Sight 2 weeks ago. We were talking about some recruiting stuff and some things ahead of camp. And, you know, D Money mentioned the Kamon Spell thing, which took me a little by surprise at the time because I wasn't expecting Miami to circle back there. But one of the other names that I mentioned, and I'll say this again, Oluwasemalor Olubabala, there's interest from his camp still in Miami. There's interest even from David Falaroncho. Now, am I saying that Miami's going to land 10 5-stars? No, they're not going to land all those guys, but Miami's going to take their punches. They're going to take their chances to continue building on this class. So we'll see how things shake out in the fall. But you asked me, like, if I were a betting man, would Miami land at least one more 5-star in this class? I think so. I think they can absolutely get it done. Deepwater said he won them all, bro. Mario's all gas, no brakes. Yes, he is. Ralph said, hi, Gio. Thanks for the info. Good stuff, by the way. The 4 eyes looks good on you. Thank you, brother. Juan Manuel said, OJ Frederique won't face many outside receivers. Clemson's better than Miami. Yeah, that'll be one of his biggest tasks throughout the regular season. If anything, you ask me, I think Clemson's receivers are better than Notre Dame's. So Juan Manuel, Camden Portis, we know he was carving a name for himself, but why do you say he's perfect? Just his attributes, what he's really good at. I think he's a great fit for the nickel. Jason, Canes Cats Heat, my brother, man. Known this guy for over a decade. He said, we have Def Geo. Yes, we do. Def for days. Absolutely, brother. They absolutely do. Greg Sindor said, you're on YouTube. Jason said, thank you, bro. Hollywood Arsenal. The best corner to me is number 24. That kid's take shows he has future NFL day 1-2 pick. I think the best corner, at least right now, like when I think of like, if everything's all put together, I think of like OJ or Damari from what I've seen. I think Xavier Lucas has a lot of potential. Like if he could put it all together, he could be like a really high draft pick, but we got to see this year. But I do like Ethan O'Connor. I know some fans soured on him. I don't know why, but like, you know, it's from one game. I thought he played pretty well for Miami throughout the season last year. He had his up and down moments, but Ethan O'Connor saved Miami's skin against Texas A&M. He doesn't tackle KC Concepcion near the end of that game. We may not be talking about Miami like making it to the national championship last year. So Juan Manuel said, Cortez Redding looking like he could be a player. I thought he was filler good, but played basketball as a ball hog. Yeah, Cortez Redding's a good athlete. A little undersized when you think of like the physique right now. But again, not all guys need to be ready the first year. Miami's got depth. Like my good friend Canes Cat Heat said. I don't want to say his full name, but I love you, my brother. It's been a long time coming for the Hurricanes. You know, we went through it all. We saw the Clemson stuff. We saw that devastating Florida State game where, you know, they blocked that extra point right after Stacey Coley had the go-ahead touchdown. But yeah, brother, long time coming. It's finally here. Possum Jenkins said, "What's good? Thank you for stopping by. As always, Possum Jenkins." Alan Kane, Gio, the information guru. There's home. There's none better. What's up, Gio? Oh, I appreciate it, brother. I said this yesterday. Look, I'm not gonna proclaim myself as like the end all be all it of covering the Hurricanes, whatever. If you guys enjoy what I provide, thank you. I appreciate it. If you don't, hey, whatever. But look, I sit on the side that I think everyone has their really good moments. I have had plenty of good moments. Some guys may get something before me. I may get some things before other guys, other big names that are involved in this. I at least consider myself a big name involved covering this team for some years now. But look, we're all just trying to see the same thing, man. Miami is a great program to cover, a great program to watch, and just all the excitement that's expected ahead. Juan Manuel, I get enamored with Abel Danger and Joey Taylor watching football, food, and Modelo beer, the official beer, University of Miami. Yeah, Modelo is. You guys saw the special they did on my guy Bo Bradbury today from the Miami Hurricanes account. The artist, tremendous work that he does. Actually, I got to contact him soon. This special project thinking about, and I want him to be involved with. Juan Manuel, was Cole McConaughey at tight end practice? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. He is practicing with the tight ends. Money making Mitch, my brother. He said, Gio, my guy. Vito said, Chase Smith is a dog. I promise you. Yes. Yeah. He's been playing good this offseason. Juan Manuel said, with Ben Congdon emerging, I don't think Max Buchanan at center isn't so far-fetched. At least he alleviates backup center. True in a sense. He can play that spot. So Ben Congdon could play guard or tackle. So we'll see. It's a really nice addition Miami has made, bringing in Congdon into this program. Look, guys, I was not expecting him to be where he was at when he first got here. I thought, that the wrestling background obviously helps, but just physically, sometimes some of these guys, they get into the weight training program and they just explode. And he's one of those guys that his body took really well to it, and he's playing really well. He's been playing well since spring. Money making Mitch, I am so tired of these out of thin air preseason rankings are a scam, and they give an unfair, unearned early advantage to teams and conferences. I'm with you, man. I'm with you when you're right. Look, Miami being ranked 7th in the coaches poll, crazy. Who was it that put Miami at number 2 today? I think it was Bud Elliott. I know Bud Elliott is Florida State guy and everything. He covers nationally for college football. I've met Bud at least 2 times before in the past. Nice guy when you get to know him in person. I know when I say that, people are going to say, what? You're calling a Florida State guy a nice guy? But Bud is nice in person. I agree with that. Like I said when talking about, what they did with the coaches poll, like how the heck is Miami not at least in the top 5? I think that's outrageous. But look, they put Notre Dame and Oregon ahead of them. Okay. But kind of expected they would do that with the Notre Dame. They always get that benefit of the doubt before every single season. Juan Manuel is campaigning for Max Buchanan for a starting position, a specific starting position. Yeah, we know one. You want Max Buchanan at center. Duck is here, everybody. Hey, like I always say, it's not a real show until Better Duck shows up. Money making Mitch, I'm trying to suppress Miami is the game within the game for college football. What was I doing in 95? Ralph said, speaking of Lofton, I don't think the coaching staff did his future earnings any good. They should have switched him to running back or linebacker a long time ago where he would fit better. He's not an NFL tight end. I think Lofton is a fit at tight end. I think it just boils down to, I've said this offseason, I think you got to line him up in the backfield. You got to flex him out. I don't think he's particularly like an inline tight end per se, in my opinion. But I do think he could be a solid player for Miami. Raymond Rodriguez said, damn late, but here, hey, better here late than never. Jacoby Greggs, that's hilarious. Jacoby Greggs. Edson said, is there practice tomorrow? At least for the media, no. But media has viewing again on Friday, and we're expected back on Saturday as well. Juan Manuel said, I would take a cow. Money making Mitch. Mally actually looks quicker, faster, and even more crisp. Scary. Funny thing you mentioned the quicker and faster thing. Malachi, what I understand, he's put on about like 7 or 8 pounds of muscle since last year. He's like mid 190s range now. Definitely noticeably thicker from last year, but still just as explosive. That man's a problem. That man, Rich, I was 100% not bored. I love this ish. Thank you, brother. Howard Stern, when is Cane Fest? They haven't given us any information about that. Usually in the past, Cane Fest would fall most of the time. It was like that second week of August while camp was going on. I know one of the last times they wanted to do it like Hard Rock and everything, and just the weather was really bad, but we haven't been given anything on that. And it's tough because I do think some of like the NIL stuff that goes on now, I don't know necessarily if Cane Fest will exactly be the same as in the past or whatever. We'll see, but they haven't given any indication about that yet, which is I think kind of surprising at this point. Let's see. That man Rich said, let's get it. Hassan said, Gio, I saw Miami as a good spot with Georgia running back. Come on, spell. Does Miami have a good chance for him? Everyone's saying Miami might flip him. Then he posted he's all dogs. Look, some schools do that. Some players do that too to call the dogs off. You see the situation like Easton Royal, who's committed to Texas. Like everyone knows he's going to flip to LSU. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case with Come On Spell. The only thing is, I'm surprised that people are hearing about this now because, I mean, D-Money mentioned this when I was on the show with him 2 weeks ago on Canes Insight, and I also spoke about Olubabala from Notre Dame, his camp having interest too. So I'm surprised it's becoming more prevalent now about the Come On Spell thing. But I'll say this. I think they have a decent shot. I know he liked his visit when he came here back in spring. From my understanding, like that Georgia commitment is not like entirely locked in. You know, I think people forget too, he was formerly committed to Penn State as well. I think the biggest key is you got to get him down here for a game day visit. That's number one. You get him down here for a game day visit this fall, which I think could be very realistic. It's hard for these teams to be tracking all these kids throughout the season while they're dealing with their own season and everything. It's tough. I do think there's a decent chance he could be down here for a game. So you bring him down here, you go from there. That's the biggest key. David Scott, Gio, any truth? Yeah, I spoke about the Come On Spell thing. What you said is Wiltfong looking for clicks. No, Steve Wiltfong's not looking for clicks. That's legit. I'm just surprised that it's like becoming more prevalent now. I guess maybe because Wiltfong said it or whatever, but I thought people would have been talking about it more after I talked about it with D-Money on Canes Insight 2 weeks ago. But hey, exciting times for Miami, especially if you're a recruiting fan. Money Making Mitch, I thought he tried to shut the rumor down. That man Rich, the vibes this team is giving off this early is next level. I'm not going to say too much because we need to see it, but I'd like to say we as fans feel a quiet confidence as well. Yeah, it's a very refreshing feeling to come into like a brand new season. And like I spoke about this with the coaches too, like the proverbial target on your back per se, that everyone is now expecting to Miami to win. Like the national media is expecting Miami to win and everything. You have that target on your back now. Like, how does Miami handle that pressure now? Because before, I even spoke about with Ahmad Moten, and Ahmad Moten called out like the haters and all like, excuse my French, all the D-riders out there that would jump on the wagon hating Miami, or now that they love Miami, that he was saying, like, he was calling them out, basically saying, like, bro, like, you know, they hated us before. They wanted to say we sucked and everything. And then we did what we were able to accomplish last year. Now everyone's giving us all this love and praise and everything. And he said, you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're just going to show up and play our game, man. Like that's it. Like it's go time pretty much. But he definitely did say that he noticed that. And, you know, the team just blocks it out. They go on social media less. They won't pay attention to that stuff. Some guys even delete social media from their phones the closer they get to the season because it's just the distraction. But yeah, there's definitely a level of confidence that this team has in themselves, and it's a great feeling to see that. I think it's been a long time since you've really kind of felt that aura around this program. Possum Jenkins said, I think Clemson also has a better D line than Notre Dame to me. I could agree with that. I've said this, like, if there's like one or two games that, I think maybe a team could like try to punch Miami and Miami maybe might have to answer within a game. I think a Clemson could be one of those because I still think they recruit decently well enough on the trenches. I know they've had some skill position issues, but they do have some good receivers. We got to see what Vizina does for them at quarterback this year. I was on record saying a lot that Cade Klubnik was like really overrated for a college football quarterback. I wasn't understanding the hype behind him. That kind of showed true last year. We'll see what Clemson is this year. Look, Dabo's started using the transfer portal more now. But yeah, like a game like Clemson and Wake Forest are ones that I watch. Like Wake Forest, especially being like that road game and like the mesh concepts that they do and everything. Miami's got to be prepared for that. But I think Miami can win those games. I think they're very winnable games. So Miami's just got to handle business. Spencer Maluski, my brother, is the O-line still struggling so far in fall? D-Money said earlier today that Damon Wilson was taken out on some reps so the offense could get going. Compliment toward Wilson and the hyperbolic, sure, but still. Yeah, so I mentioned that earlier in the show. Yes, Damon Wilson's had a strong start to camp. It's definitely giving some of the tackles trouble and whatnot. But look, we're early on in camp right now. Pads are not on yet either. So things change a little bit when the pads turn on, when the pads come on. So look, I know the offense had a little bit of a better day in day one. Day two, maybe not entirely their day. There was some moments for them. Look, guys, this is football, man. They're going to go back and forth every day and every other day. It's going to be back and forth and back and forth. I think the biggest thing that everyone should be grateful for is the competition that's happening in the building. Like real football is happening in Coral Gables. Vic and Bastian said, Gio, do you do purpose-driven work habits and hobbies? I do it every day. You should try it. Purpose-driven. Not sure, brother. Honestly. I just do my stuff, man. Possum Jenkins said, it's starting to sound more and more likely that Pancake will be the left tackle this year. Congrats to him. Yep. He looked good out there from what we were able to see from the viewing portion. It's a little difficult to see the O-line, so you got to zoom in with the camera. You got to really binoculars wise and everything. So I got one of those bazooka cameras, was able to see some of that. With him, best shape he's been in of his career. From what I understand, he's about down to 320 now, since best shape, at least since he's been to Miami. He's very healthy. He's had some injuries along the way, but healthy. He's getting a crack at left tackle right now. We'll see what happens with that competition. Let's see. 904 Hurricane thinks Notre Dame D-line is better than Clemson. What Clemson does have, that's a lot better than Notre Dame's wide receivers. Yeah, definitely the wide receivers. But I do think there could be a debate with their D-line because I know they have Wilt Help there now. I know they still have Sammy Brown and everything. But again, like I said a couple weeks ago, ACC kickoff stuff and preseason ballots. How the heck did Clemson have two guys on preseason player over the year over Miami? Makes no sense. Canes Command Center, what's good, Gio? And hey, what's up, Max? Hope you're doing well. Rock and Rant, my brother. Have the usual suspects started panicking because the wide receivers can't get open? Yeah, some guys have. Look, hey, Rock and Rant, you totally understand it, man. It's going to be a back and forth thing. Guys are not going to win the battle every single day. Canes Command Center said, Bryant flipped an hour after he posted he was all LSU. Exactly. This day and age in recruiting is not the same, and it's not for the weak of heart. Money Making Mitch. Bison Johnson Cook also posted his Miami offer on his IG story and then said he doesn't plan on flipping. LOL. Yeah? Look, I mean, let's see. Vic and Bastion said, Canes Command Center, salute, brother. Yeah, guys, check out his app. We also have it on the website now on Caneswear and on the app on Caneswear. It's tremendous. You create depth charts on there. You just so many analytical things you can see with the Canes Command Center. It's absolutely incredible, guys. I've actually toyed around with it a bit. Maybe I'll throw out a depth chart from there pretty soon, just for the people to consume and debate on as we get closer to the season. Let's see. Deepwater said, any info on the jersey patch? None right now, but it has come up in some discussions. Also, any truth to there being a special uniform this season for the 0-1 team? Stay tuned. I can't say what I've seen or what I've talked about in regard to that, but yeah, you could potentially see a jersey this year that would be really interesting. Howard Stern said Miami flipping players get the money now before they change the laws. Rock and Rant, check this out. Miami is the lowest ranked team in the college coaches poll that has 5 or more position groups in Athlon's top 10 with some in top 5. People are underrating us even at 7. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I said it the other day that Miami at least should be a top 5 team in any of these polls, but at the end of the day, it's just talk. The team's not paying attention to it. They're not concerned with it. I think Miami will just naturally move up anyways throughout the season. Rock and Rant, our wide receivers are playing the hardest games every day in practice other than more against Notre Dame. Absolutely. These wide receivers are going up against a really good defensive back group. Chris Gunn said, go Canes. Gio, what's good? And how about Ohio State preseason #1 team? We manhandled in the playoffs, yet they're #1. I get it. Great offense, but their defense suffered more losses than us. Yes, they did lose some big pieces on defense. The other thing I'll say with Ohio State, I sort of get it because the collection of talent they have and guys returning. But you ask me, I don't think there's like a true bona fide #1 coming into this preseason. I think you can make a case for an Ohio State. I think you can make a case for a Miami. I think you could make a case for a Texas, even though Texas really has to prove it on the field, even after last year. Maybe even a small little case for an Oregon. The only reason why I say an Oregon is because of the guys they're returning. But hey, I will say all this Oregon preseason hype, those are the same guys that have gotten blown out of the playoffs the past couple of years. So look, I think people need to pump the brakes a little on Oregon. I think they have a few things they need to prove. 904 Hurricane. Miami pursued Sorensen before Mensa. Will Sorensen. You talking about Sorsby? Yeah. Will Howard before Carson Beck, KJ Jefferson and DJ Ungalele before Cam Ward. Do Canes fans realize how fortunate we are and how easily things could be different? Yeah, well, I know Miami didn't like DJU, but you are right that they had some interest in KJ Jefferson while the Cam Ward thing was going on. Look, they pressed on the Will Howard. I'll say this. I spoke with someone from Miami about like that Will Howard situation a little around that time when that whole process was going on with Cam. And basically the gist of the story is like Will Howard started telling me, he's like, oh no, well, you guys prefer Cam Ward or whatever. And they said, BS, we'll let you commit right now. You want to come here, we'll let you commit right now. And he didn't do it. So the guy didn't want to come here. Chris Gunn said, I think we are more balanced than Ohio State, the #1 preseason team. I'm with you. I think Miami's defense is that equalizer there. Possum Jenkins, who does Notre Dame have on their D-line that we need to worry about? Help from Clemson is better than anything on Notre Dame. I agree with that. Help is a good player. Juan Manuel, if Pancake looks good, then who was on the other side that they sat Wilson? If they sat Wilson. Canes Command Center said, I appreciate you, Victor Bastion. Canes Command Center Max said, I'm working on it while I listen in. Absolutely, brother. I love that app. I've used it quite a few times. Just like when I start thinking of like depth chart or certain things I want to look at, just the amount of things you could do with it it's awesome. It's honestly hats off to you, Max, on doing that. Juan Manuel said, Command Center, send me a Bella by mail. And back to what you said about Phone Run Show from ND still having interest. Agreed. I remember he did not look sold or like he was really with it on his commitment. Brody, body language talks loud. Yeah, the only thing with Phone Run Show is like, look, I think that will be the most difficult of any of the names I mentioned earlier or the names that are circling around that are like in that 5-star range, simply off the fact of the connections, like coaches connected with Notre Dame, trainers, former teammates, current teammates. It'll be tough, but we'll see. You know, he loved his Miami visit. So there has been situations like that in the past where guys have loved their Miami visit. They didn't end up committing to Miami right away, and they changed their mind by the end of the cycle. So we'll see. Look, Miami won Justin Scott out of that same area a few years back. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Possum Jenkins said, I agree. There are about 5 to 7 teams you can make a case to be number one. Vicken said, George, is it possible you take photos and we can see Hurricane Dream Team? Chris Guns. I agree, Gio. You can make a case for us number one. Absolutely. And let's see. Hassan said, Gio, who's the linebacker that Miami was crystal ball to? Is he 27 or 28? You're talking about the 2028 kid? So when I was on Canes Insight 2 weeks ago with D-Money as well, I was asked, you know, some questions on 2028 guys. And I mentioned this last time when I was on with Michael Yo on Comics on Canes, who we collaborate with us on the channel as well. Gabriel Player. I mentioned that over 2 weeks ago, that I was hearing plenty of positive Miami buzz. And I know the crystal balls have started rolling in the past week or so. So nice timing. Let's see here. Hassan said yes. So, guys, thank you everyone for the love and support. Appreciate all the people that have come out here. Make sure to download the Caneswear app. There are exclusive discounts that show up on the app several different times, like different weeks and everything. There will be specials on there. You get exclusive discounts right off the app. You can find it on your Apple App Store, your Google Play Store, depending on your mobile device of choice. The other thing that I'll say, I'll be back on tomorrow with Brett. There's no media viewing portion for practice tomorrow, but we will have for Friday and Saturday. And stay tuned to all the content we have. And actually, I'll jump in with just a few last questions that jumped in here last moment. 904 said, I also want to point out that if Bryce doesn't get the interception against A&M and Miami loses that game, the entire offseason conversation about Mario and clock management would have been different. I hear you, brother. Yeah. Definitely game-changing plays that guys made in games. Key plays. Nedco said Indiana should be 1, Miami 2. I agree with that. Like, you know, the returning teams from those games, but unfortunately they don't do it like that. Money Maker Bitch, Canes should not be ranked lower than anybody. They bullied and beat, period. I'm with you, but unfortunately, this is what they do with the preseason rankings. Chris Gons also said, go Canes. Thank you, Gio. As always, fantastic content. Thank you, brother. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We thank you all. We appreciate the love and support. We see how quickly the channel is growing. So much more coming ahead. Stay tuned for more content tomorrow. I'll be on live with Brett tomorrow. We'll take a bunch of your questions. Oh, and one more quick thing. We got about 4 or 5 shows that are coming to this channel in the next week or so, give or take. Stay tuned for that. Go Canes.